Hi everyone, it's 2 o'clock, so we'll make a start. First of all, if you could just type in a yes or a thumbs up into the comments box, just to let me know that you can hear me and the screen okay, that would be brilliant. Okay, fab. Normally you would hear Helen Foster, our team's curriculum service support officer, with her melodic northern accent, but unfortunately she's not very well today and has lost her voice. So instead you've got me, Jessica Bosanquet, the team's project officer. Okay, so there will be time at the end for questions and answers, but if you have any questions throughout the webinar, then do type them into the comments box and we can pick them up at the end of the session. Okay. All right. How many people have we got here? All right, we'll go ahead. Okay, so first of all, thank you for taking the time to join our webinar today. We are really excited because this is the first ever webinar aimed at teaching practitioners. So we'd like to thank you for taking the time to join us, and as we know how busy you all are and appreciate you finding the time. We are recording the webinar and we'll make this available for any colleagues who are unable to join today. And this will be emailed out after the webinar. Okay. Before we begin, we will take a look at the outcomes of today's session. As I'm sure you saw when you registered for the webinar, today's session is aimed at teaching practitioners, especially teachers who have never used eBooks for FE before. For example, newly qualified teachers or teachers who are in subject areas which we are only just covering this year. The session will also be really helpful for any library staff who are new to the organisation or new to the service, or just anyone that feels that they need an extra support or a refresher on using ProQuest's eBook Central. We will start the session by introducing Jisc for the benefit of any colleagues who may not have heard of us before or understand what we do. We will then introduce the eBooks for FE service and talk you through how we put the collection of titles together. We will then give a demonstration of ProQuest's eBook Central and take a look at accessibility, the benefits of using eBooks, tips for using eBooks in teaching, and what support is available. And finally, we will get to the questions and answers. Okay, so who is Jisc? Jisc is a membership organisation providing digital solutions for UK education and research. So we cover three areas in three big areas. So connectivity and security. We provide the Janet network and Eduroam. So I'm sure you've heard of Eduroam, and the .ac.uk. Another big part of Jisc is that we broker deals with publishers. We have strong relationships with publishers, which means that we can broker sector-wide deals to provide value for money and save time in the FE sector. And the last prong is a lot of what we do in our team, actually. We offer advice on digital technology and we provide digital resources for education and research. So for FE specifically, these are eBooks for FE, our vocational learning resources, which are engaging resources and activities for the FE sector, supporting future employment demands, and NVQ, SVQ, VRQ, and T-level subject areas. So the list at the bottom here: construction training, digital and IT training, education and childcare training, health and social care training, and hairdressing training are the services that we currently have available. Okay. Okay, so what is eBooks for FE? eBooks for FE is a free collection of 509 curriculum mapped eBooks covering both academic and vocational qualifications at levels 2 and 3. The titles cover a range of qualifications including A-level, BTEC, NVQ, VRQ, and GCSE English and Maths. We cover Scottish qualifications including SVQ, Highers, Nationals, and Intermediates. Students can benefit from unlimited access to eBooks, both on campus and at home, from their phone, tablet, laptop, or PC. Unlimited access means that there is no limit on the number of students who can access an individual title at the same time. This means that a whole class of 30 students could access the same ebook on their own device at the same time. The collection is refreshed on an annual basis. Each year we procure new titles, and each year some titles will come out of license. We purchase all titles on a 3-year license. This gives us the flexibility to remove titles that are outdated and no longer relevant due to changes in qualifications. The ebooks are paid for and provided by Jisc. We select them each year through a selection process that we will take a look at on the next slide. And the books are hosted on ProQuest's eBook Central. To access the collection, all you need is a device and your college username and password. Okay, so how do we select the ebooks? Each year, we begin the selection process by identifying which subject areas we would like to expand the collection into or increase provision of. This is based on research of the most popular academic and vocational qualifications and awarding organisations, as well as any expiring qualifications. This research is reviewed against our current provision, including usage figures, to identify any potential gaps. We also work with our focus group to request subject areas and qualifications to be considered, and we take requests that have come in throughout the year to our support desk. We then produce a call-off. to the publishers, where we tell them that we're looking to procure titles in certain subject areas or for certain qualifications and levels. We are unable to request specific titles. Following the call-off, publishers offer us a list of titles which can vary greatly in size from year to year. This year, we had a list of almost 900 ebooks to narrow down. We then work with our focus group of FE librarians to narrow down the titles. We share the complete list with the focus group and ask for comments, as well as a yes, no, and maybe vote for each title. We then hold a selection day where we discuss the titles in great detail and attempt to narrow down the list further based on what the focus group tells us the sector needs and would benefit from. Further research is conducted to ensure that the ebook selected will be valid for the whole 3-year license period. For example, to check if qualifications are expiring, and we also check the content of each ebook individually to assess its relevance and suitability. We then submit our final selections to the publishers, and they work to ensure that the titles are ready in time for the start of the academic year. This year is the biggest ever increase of titles, with an additional 119 ebooks, which has meant that we've expanded the collection by 26%. Okay, so this slide covers the collection. So the collection covers a range of subjects at levels 2 and 3. I'm not going to read out all of these subject areas, but take a look. I'm hoping that you can spot the subject that you teach in this list. Okay, so how do students access the ebooks? There are 3 main ways in which students can access the ebooks, and these largely depend on your organization, more specifically, how the library has set up the ebooks. So first is links to ebooks on the VLE. Most libraries will link the ebooks on the VLE. This tends to be the most popular way that students can access ebooks. It is really effective because it means that the books are easy to discover and students only need to go to one source to access all necessary information for their course. One of our member colleges last year said that having links to the ebooks embedded into their VLE increased learner attainment. So it might be worth speaking to your library if you're interested in this option. Another common way that students access the ebooks is through links in the library catalogue. This option means that when students search for available resources in the library, Jisc's ebooks for FE will come up in the search results. This again makes the ebooks easy for students to discover, and the links will take them directly to the ebooks. Another common way of accessing the ebooks is by searching for them directly on the eBook Central platform, which we will take a look at shortly. As I explained on the previous slide, many librarians place links to specific ebooks in either the VLE or in the library catalogue. This makes it easy for students to access all the relevant material for their course in one place. But here is an example of what students will see when they access the ebooks in this way and the functionality of the ebooks. Okay, so sorry there, I was just getting a new screen to share. Okay, so this is what students will see when they click on the book from their VLE or library catalogue. On this page, you can read online, you can download the book, you can add it to a bookshelf, you can share the link to this specific book. If you scroll down here, you can download specific chapters, or you can read align specific chapters. So if you want to, if you know you want to look at the end of the book, you can jump ahead here. Okay, so if I click read online here. Okay. Oh. Go to the next page. Oh. Okay, sorry, Helen's just helping me here. Okay, so on the side, you can see the contents, you can see the separate chapters, and you can skip along to read the book online. Okay, so searching on ProQuest eBook Central. Another way of accessing the ebooks is to search directly on the platform. So there are a number of ways users can search on the platform. The ISBN, which is the book's unique identifier, is probably the quickest way to get to a specific book. However, you can search the title, such as The Great Gatsby for AS/A level, which we're using in this demonstration. You can also search for keywords such as the Great Gatsby, the subject area, which is English literature, and the author, if known. Okay, so if I go back to eBook Central, okay, so this is the home page of eBook Central for Jisc's eBooks for FE. If I search in here, The Great Gatsby, these are the search results that come up. You can refine your search on the side by years published, subject areas, author, etc. Obviously, this book is the first book that comes up because it's an exact match. But if you scroll down, there's plenty of other, there's books in the same series. There's other English literature titles that could be relevant as well. Again, there's some quick links over here, so you can link to a full download, read online, table of contents, and adding it to the bookshelf over here. Okay. Okay, so accessibility. At Jisc, we're committed to ensuring that our guides can be accessed and used by all of our members. Ebooks delivered through a learning platform can be more accessible to blind and visually impaired users than hard copy equivalents, for example, printed handouts and print books. The platform is compatible with assistive technologies such as Daisy and JAWS, using traditional keyboard shortcuts. The user interface has integrated text-to-speech functionality without the need for additional software. ProQuest eBook Central is Web Content Accessibility Guidelines 2.0 compliant. At the end of the webinar, we'll send some useful links where ProQuest have put up a 2-minute video on some of that accessibility functionality. Okay, So the benefits of using ebooks. There are some quite obvious ones here, but there are some you might not have thought about before. You can read on the go, on the bus or in class, on your mobile or your tablet. Students can't forget to bring them into the class, so they don't have that excuse. You can highlight, you can bookmark, annotate the ebooks without destroying them, and you can save your notes on your own virtual bookshelf. You can make the most of accessibility features such as the read aloud and open dyslexic typeface. There's unlimited access, which means students can access each title at the same time. You can download and print key chapters as well as worksheets and activities in some ebooks. You can save the ebooks to your device so that you can access them anywhere, anytime, offline and offline as well. And they can be used to promote flipped learning, and they can fill a resource gap when library budgets can't buy books to cover all subject areas. Okay, top tips for teachers. Use ebooks in class. Did you know that ebooks for FE can be accessed on mobile devices as well as computers? If your subject is reliant upon a physical textbook in the classroom, try using the ebook instead. This is an easy way of familiarizing learners with how to access online resources and ensure that they make use of these valuable resources. By allowing learners to access the resources on their own devices or devices that are available in the classroom, they will be more confident in accessing them when studying independently. They can even bookmark the relevant ebooks so they can easily locate them when not in the classroom. This can have the additional benefit of keeping expensive physical textbooks in good condition, and learners won't have to share textbooks. Use the bookshelf function. Use the bookshelf function of eBook Central to create shareable bookshelves of relevant titles for subject and qualification areas. These can be shared via email or links can be placed in the VLE. More information on creating a bookshelf can be found on the useful links slide at the end of the webinar. Include ebooks in your virtual learning environment. One way to embed ebooks into teaching and learning is by including them in the VLE for your subject area where your reading lists are stored. The books can be inserted as links so that your learners can easily locate them with the click of a button. If you're unsure about how to do this, ask your LRC manager or librarian to help you. Flipped learning. It is important for learners to be prepared for further study or the workplace during their time in FE. One way that teaching practitioners can help learners to become more independent is through flipped learning, and our ebooks are a fantastic resource to support this. Rather than spending lesson time teaching a subject area from the beginning, try setting learners the task of reading the relevant section of the ebook prior to the lesson. Then lesson time can be spent opening valuable discussions, consolidating learning around the subject area, and clarifying misconceptions. Lesson time becomes more valuable and learners become more independent. Improve learners' information literacy. In the age of the internet, learners can access information from a range of resources. Whilst opening up realms of new information to learners can be a good thing, when it comes to their education, not all learners are equipped with the necessary information literacy skills needed in order to discern between types of information. Learners might Google psychology revision and be faced with a range of resources, for example, blogs written by teaching practitioners and former learners. Whilst these can be helpful, they do not always provide the information that learners need for their exam board. With ebooks for FE, you can be certain that your learners are accessing high quality, reliable academic information that is tailored to their required exam board and often endorsed by the exam board too. Save time making revision resources. We understand how precious time is for teaching practitioners. With ebooks for FE, you can maximize your time spent teaching and supporting learners and minimize the time spent creating resources that are already available for you. We recommend taking some time at the start of each term to look through the ebooks that are relevant to your subject and exam board and think about what you could use rather than create. Did you know that our ebooks can be downloaded and printed as PDF documents? Rather than wasting time creating homework resources, you could simply print the pages from ebooks which feature practice questions. Marking time could be sped up by displaying the answers in class and utilizing peer marking, meaning there is more time in the lesson for valuable teaching, discussion, and clarifying misconceptions. Direct learners to further reading. If your learners have access to PowerPoints used in class, these can be a valuable way for ensuring learners are able to access the relevant ebooks easily. For example, a slide at the end of each lesson could direct learners to the relevant supporting title and even the specific pages from the ebook that you've used in that lesson. When learners come to revise for the subject, they will know exactly where to find high quality revision materials. Okay, what support is available? We have a support site which is dedicated to ebooks for FE. We've got areas for both librarian support and teacher support. The support site includes specific pages which contain spreadsheets with relevant titles for your subject area. Teacher support includes FAQs, accessibility information, tutorial videos, guidance on language and download options, an overview of the platform, and some top tips. So please make sure to check out the support site after this webinar. We have promotional posters available for you to download and print and display in the classroom. These are fully editable, so that should you wish, you can edit to promote the titles that would be most relevant to your class. The posters currently cover the latest subject areas that we've expanded into this year, but over the next few weeks, these will cover all subject areas. So do visit the page on our support site and check them out. And if you think of any promotional materials that would also be beneficial, do let us know. On this slide, we've collated all links that we've referred to throughout the webinar. We will be mailing this out at the end of the webinar, so you'll have access to them all. This year, eBooks for FE turns 10. To celebrate, we're giving away a £30 national book token for your college LRC. Each month, we will have a theme, and we would like you to tweet us your ideas and photos based on that theme. September's theme was, how do you embed ebooks into the curriculum from the start of the year? And we were very excited to reveal that our first winner is Havering College. Havering College told us that they embed ebooks from the start of the year by including links to the ebooks in Moodle and in the library catalogue. This makes students happy because the ebooks are so easy to access. To celebrate the change of season, October's theme is autumn. So to be in with the chance of winning a £30 national book token for your college LRC, all you need to do is tweet us a picture of your best autumnal book display by the 31st of October. So make sure to follow us on Twitter @ebooks4FE and send us your best pictures. As promised at the start of the webinar, we will now dedicate some time to questions and answers. So, I'm just going to pop myself on mute and have a look and see if we've had any questions come in. Okay, I've seen one question come in. I'll just give you one more minute in case you've got another question. Okay, thanks a lot for putting in your questions, guys. Okay, so the first question from Liz, is it possible to get a link to a specific chapter as well as the whole book title? So if you go into the, let me share my page again. So on this page, if I go into a book here, these are specific chapters of the book. You can download them as a PDF, and then you can share that PDF with your class here. Okay, so let me go back. Okay. Sorry about that. Okay, so the next question, will this recording be available after the session? Yes, it will. We will email it out to everybody who signed up for the webinar, the recording as well as the presentation. And a question from Roz, in level 3 hairdressing under new standards 2015 was a module specialist scalp. This is not in textbooks. Is there a book for it? We do have hairdressing titles that are from 2015 onwards. So I'm not entirely sure of this specific module, but it would be worth having a look at any textbook from 2015 onwards. We also have a vocational learning resource, hairdressing training, which was one of the resources we listed at the beginning. We've got a video called Hair and Scalp Analysis. So perhaps have a look at that video. That could be what you're after. So hairdressing.jisc.ac.uk and search for scalp. And the last question, can my bookshelf be shared with my students? Yes, you can share a link to your bookshelf with students. Okay, I would just do a demo of that now so that we can all see. Okay, so I go back to this page. Okay, so go back here. Okay, so you click on bookshelf in the top right here, and then you've got a link here. So share link to the folder. So if you click here, a link will come up and that's your whole bookshelf shared. So if you're a teacher and you've collated a bunch of books for your subject area, you can share this link with your learners. Okie doke. Oh, one more question. Is there a limit to the number of titles on my bookshelf? Oh, that's a very good question. One moment. Hi, no, as far as we're aware, there is not a, oh, am I unmuted? Yes, there's not a limit to the number of books you can have in your bookshelf. Okay, so are there any more questions before we move on? Okay. So the last slide, should you ever need to contact us, our support team are happy to help with any problems and provide any further support. So here is the email address of our support team at Jisc and phone number, of course. So if you have any questions or trouble using eBooks for FE after this webinar, then please do get in touch. Okay, so thanks a lot, everybody, for joining. Oh, is there one more question? Are you going to share the summary of all the entries that came in for the September competition? Yes, we do a monthly newsletter for eBooks for FE, which comes out, which is held on our support site. All of the entries will be featured in the newsletter, which comes out tomorrow, incidentally, and will be sent out through Jisc mail. Okay, any more last minute questions? Okay, brilliant. Well, thanks a lot for coming, everyone. We've really appreciated getting in touch with teaching practitioners. We hope you enjoy the rest of your afternoon. Thanks.